So I want to preface what I'm about to say with just this. It's about the deceit. Okay? It's about the deceit. It's about the fact, indisputable fact, my mom was tricked into thinking that an account that had her name on it was a joint account my mom shared with her sister. And going in person, my mom had to be absolutely blindsided by the news given by more than one bank rep, including a CSR, you know, someone who's the one you talk to about things like this, not just a teller, not just, you know, an experienced CSR, the ones you sit down and wait to speak with, the ones you open bank accounts with, okay? That it was not her bank account. Not only was it not her bank account, that bank, they're like, we shouldn't have been honoring the checks that, again, my mom's sister had my mom signing. My mom 100% believed this was a joint account when it wasn't. Okay? So it's about the deceit. The letter that came in the mail, I talked to my mom's lawyer, and he convinced me that my mom, you know, it could be important that my mom... Remember, my first initial reaction, I was going to do a return to send of them. I'm not going to do that. But I'm also not going to give it to my mom, you know, while she's locked up. But upon speaking with the attorney, he said, you know, it could be important. So it turns out it was the sister handing over several $1,000s. Several, okay? But again, it all goes back to the same thing. It's what the sister decides. It's my mom never gets to know the truth. I never get to know the truth. What I do know for a fact is that after giving him permission to speak with me, my mom had to go home. I spent over an hour talking at length with an employee of the stock company, okay? I spent a long time talking to him, told him everything, and he checked and double-checked and triple-checked in response to my tearful, anguished cries of that can't be, and told me in no uncertain terms that where my mom's pension, monthly pension, had been deposited for all those months, nearly a year, that account was an account my mom was completely unaware existed. Okay? It was not the bank account that had her and her sister's name on it. It was a mystery bank account at the same goddamn bank. And I said, are you sure? Are you sure? I was in shock. I wasn't expecting this. Again, all these things we found out was domino effect, okay? So, you know what, in the end, the sister can hand over whatever, and it's something's better than nothing. But I already told you, my mom doesn't have to be sick to think to herself, like when she was saying to me at one point, her sister, in regards, she's going to get a lot of money for, she's selling real estate, she's going to get a lot of money, you know, she should give me back that half of that wrongful death settlement. I'm like, Mom, it ain't going to happen. It's old news. It's water under the bridge. You agreed to... But she has all that money. It doesn't matter, Mom. Don't you understand? I want to shake my mom and get her to understand her sister is a greedy, cheap bitch. Her sister could come into $10 million, $100 million, and still would not give back to my mom that the sister's half of that wrongful death settlement. That there are people, again, it was never me, but there are people... and definitely including my mom, her friend Selena, who was my friend, like I said, but who 100% believed that the sister should never have taken that half of the money in a million years, shouldn't have taken it from her mentally ill sister. My mom shouldn't have taken it, period, even if they agreed to split it. And then there are other people who said it was a conflict of interest because my mom's sister was power of attorney at the time. And my mom used to call me in California anyway and say, her sister saying, I'm going to keep all that money, but they didn't even know if they'd get it. The statute of limitations almost ran out. You understand that? It went on year after year after year. It was a joke. My mom would call me and say, the case, we're going to get so much money, Laura, and I'm going to get your songs and poems published, whatever. The whole point being that in my mom's world, of course, if your sister gave a shit about you and she wasn't a cheap, greedy bitch, of course, if she came into a lot of money, she would give you back that money, Mom. It ain't gonna happen. But I just want to make a point that my mom never got to see any of the, you know what I mean? And I know what the stock company told me, okay? But now it's closed and it's done. Like I said, my belief is that something was going on where the sister illegally kept that court paperwork on file, even though the case had been dismissed and voluntarily by my aunt. Nobody was fighting her, okay? That's my belief. And I go on to say that the whole thing was I told you, I'll never not believe the whole thing was to trick my mom, sell this house, and the proceeds get deposited into an account my mom's not even allowed to know one thing about, not even allowed to legally access, but tricked into thinking it's a joint account. So the sister can turn over that money, whatever. The sister's not turning over bank statements that prove where all the money went. So I will spend the rest of my life, since we have no proof. It was all about deceit, you know? If it had really been a joint account, my mom would have been able to or if the sister just wasn't a bitch. You remember when all that shit went down, there's videos that I haven't released publicly as of yet, but the sister, my mom wants to know about her own money, and how the sister deals with that shows her a piece of paper saying where the money went. It's bullshit, you understand? It's fucking bullshit. I know how much my mom started with. I know that there's something going on with the fact that stock company insisted to me. He double-checked and triple-checked. I'm like, that's an account number my mom doesn't even know exists. Are you sure? Are you sure? He double. So the sister was up to no good. But nothing's ever going to happen to her. It's not about that anyway, you understand? It's not about the sister getting in trouble over anything, over the cholesterol medication, over the anything. It's about the fact that I at least got vindication, because my mom finally, after all these fucking years, the professionals in my mom's life got to hear from my mom the truth about who her sister really was. See? Nothing's going to happen to the sister. And in the end, the lawyer didn't do shit, because he should have pursued it, and he didn't. He didn't. He instead tells my mom, if we want to subpoena the records, it's going to cost $30,000, and that's more than, you don't know that your sister misspent the money. No, it's all about deceit, though. We'll never know. You understand? Only she knows. Only she knows, and God knows. All right? But if she was on the up and up, my mom would have bank statements that shows exactly where the money went, and the explanation of why that person insists that my mom's pension for an entire year almost was going into an account my mom had no idea existed. Can you imagine how I felt when I found that out? Can you imagine how my mom felt? I didn't want to tell my mom. I had to, of course. I said, Mom, you're not going to believe this. What, Laura? This was months ago, of course. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to have to tell you this, but that person checked and double-checked. I spoke with him for a long, long time. I told him everything. And he said he is positive that this is the account. And it's at the same bank, but it's not the account number you're aware of, where your pension's been going. And again, my mom never got to see where her Social Security was going either, because, again, the sister was the payee, Social Security payee behind my mom's back. It's all about deceit. All right? It's all about deceit. So yeah, that's great. Better than nothing. The sister, without being asked, without anything, may have seen my videos or whatnot. It doesn't matter. My videos are all telling the truth. She wrote, that was what the letter was, and she said, I've closed the account and whatever. You know what I mean? It was all about deceit. If the sister was on the up and up, My mom would never be screamed at and threatened and said, pack your bags, you're going back to your daughter's, for simply asking about her own money or wondering why there was so little left, okay? And I will always believe that money was misspent, because when I add it all up, it doesn't, when I also include the $15,000 that I turned over, plus the $2,000, that's $17,000 that we started with, okay? It's $17,000 that the sister started with, right? And it doesn't add up in my head, but it also, I don't know. All I know is it's all about deceit. And when the sister, the next day after their huge fight where my mom refused to leave when she was being ordered to pack her bags and leave the apartment she wanted to live in, you understand? And the next day, I have to hear my mom say, well, we made up, she gave me, and I have the piece of paper, she gave me this piece of paper that proves, in quotations, quote, proves, unquote, where all the money went. Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. It's all about deceit. You know, did it say on that piece of paper that I started with $17,000 approximately? When you were in the hospital, Samantha? No. It's bullshit. How much extra the sister wound up with, who knows? I said, she has, like Joe says, you know, she has to live with herself. So only she and God know the truth. But I know that if it's one thing if you talk very quickly with a employee of a stock company, but if you're telling them, you know, are you sure? Are you sure that's not the account number? My mom's not even aware. What is this account number? And I have it, of course. And he checked and double checked, and it is at the same bank, but it's a different fucking account than the supposed joint account, which was not a joint account, as we found out accidentally, as you can find out from me if you watch the other videos. Okay. So that's great. I'll make sure to not upload this video, you know, until my mom has the opportunity to cash that check. But again, it's all about deceit. I don't see how the lawyer did anything. He was there as a security blanket, you know. He did do that, but he did nothing. My mom did everything on her own. She already got the pension switched over to her own bank account. She got her doctor to write a note so that's what Social Security needed, to make my mom her own payee. All of that. She did it all. What did the lawyer do? Nothing. How much of the $5,000 did he spend? Oh, who knows? It's all bullshit. Remember, every phone call is going to count. He probably is going to count the calls when he talked to me on the phone, or I left messages, you know, and he had to listen to them. He probably counts it all. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. He did nothing. He didn't even do what I recommended, which was talk to the bank and find out what the story was. He didn't bother. He didn't bother. I'm enraged over that. We never get to know the truth. We never get to know about the truth at all, but the mystery bank account. But in the end, the sister didn't have to give back any of the money. You understand? It's a token, but you know, but she didn't have to give any of it back. But if she was on the up and up, my mom would know the truth, and I would know the truth, and then the sister would at least be vindicated in that she didn't take any of my mom's money. But she wouldn't be vindicated in all the other shit, the deceit. It's about the deceit. It's about the deceit that tells me in no uncertain terms what her plans really were. Bribe me to leave by getting, it would make more sense to sell this house and give me money from those proceeds than to take it 20 from the 401k when there's tons of taxes involved, No, it was bribe me, and then that would have been it. So my mom never would have hired the fucking lawyer. I was under the impression that a lawyer could get to the bottom of the friggin' bank accounts. And then when I'm telling him, I thought you could get to, he's like, I can't access, it's not her bank account, whatever, but there's something going on there, and I thought you could. And he got snide with me, and I'm like thinking, why would you think that? Even the bank had said only a lawyer can find out what's going on with these bank accounts. The big CSR, but who we wound up seeing on 2 separate occasions. Because if you watch the videos, after the first time, my mom wants to live in that apartment. She's going to let it go. She's not going to care. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it except to protect myself and refuse the bribe, not leave. Not leave unless my mom set something into place so her sister can't potentially get all of the proceeds from the sale of this house. Okay? That was all I could do if my mom wasn't going to cooperate and she wants to live in that apartment, whatever. But on her own, the sister dug her own grave in terms of that, because she was telling my mom, I want you to move out. She was threatening my mom she's going to go back to court, become her conservator again, and guardian, and I'm going to call out all this crap the sister was doing. So my mom finally got fed up. But my mom got fed up on her own, and she wound up talking to professionals in her life on her own and then telling me after the fact, which was great, I didn't influence anything. I didn't expect that. This all started when the sister allowed the account that was just in my mom's name. And remember, we got those statements only because that guy, I basically begged him. I'm like, please, you know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on, but we need those bank statements. And he did it without charging, because you're supposed to have to pay, and he wouldn't let me pay cash. He's like, I can't do this. I can't charge the account if it's in the negative over $300. And I just begged him. He just did it. He was very, very nice. He didn't have to be, but he was. And found out the truth. And the truth was, the sister had intentionally been forging my mom's name on those checks, and I know it for a fact because there are times she signed those checks. She was trying to deplete that bank account. That's what it was. It turns out my mom was totally deceived on every end imaginable, because I was, like, my mom had gushed, I have 15,000, you're the benefit, blah, blah. No. So my aunt made sure to intentionally deplete that account, and she did it by forging my mom's name on checks. Okay? That's how she did it. We can see. You know what I mean? She intentionally had that account depleted. That account depleted. I know the difference between my mom's signature and the aunt's scribble. Okay? I got to see the aunt's scribble again. That can be, I can have that investigated as well. If the cholesterol medication was on auto pay, and obviously when my mom was in the mental hospital, her regular meds were not picked up. I already found out. It said, when it's on auto renew, does it come through automatically unless someone's canceled that? Yep. So wouldn't it be interesting to find out that the sister, the times I know my mom was in the mental hospital, okay, the sister still picked up the cholesterol medication but no other medications. That would be completely just proof. You know what I mean? But we got proof anyway. I told you, I have it printed out. I have the sister's scribble. I know damn well my mom, and so do they, because they know who picked it up. When I said, where is it? Oh, the blonde woman picked it up. And I said, can I have a printout of that? And she picked it up 2 weeks after my mom had moved out. And you get it? My mom had moved out, and the sister said, don't expect, we know that what was going on. It's caught red-handed. It's proof, okay? But I also have proof that she forged my mom's name on checks. Because I know when you know, so it was all about deceit and lies. And it only came to light because she fucked up and allowed the account to bounce because she was trying to deplete it intentionally. She wanted to have nothing in there. So my mom would think, oh, you're the beneficiary on this, but there's not, you know. And my mom's not allowed to know anything, so my mom would never know, okay? And the other one that wasn't my mom's bank account, I can bet you a sweet dollar that I was not the beneficiary on that one. Bet you anything I wasn't. But my mom, gosh, I didn't give a shit, you understand? What do I give a shit about that? My mom, oh gosh, you were doing, I have this much, you're doing, whatever, Mom. I didn't give one flying fuck about that. Why would I? I don't want to think anything like that. I don't fucking think about that, don't care, don't want to hear my mom gushing about it. Okay? Nothing, it was just brought to mind. All I cared about is to make sure the sister had not legally, while she was temporary guardian server, changed the beneficiary on the 401k. That's all I cared about. The other stuff, my mom brought to my attention, as I kept pointing out in letters or to anybody's professionals in my mom's life. I only know what my mom brings to my attention. My mom's friends only know what if everything's fine, we're not going to know shit, you understand? You get it? Like my Joe says, sister has to live with herself. And when the sister blindsided me in 16 and took advantage of my mom's vulnerable mental state when I couldn't even talk to my mom and straighten anything out or anything, what Joe said is, you know, you should call up your aunt and say something like, Merry Christmas, I'm sure Satan has a very nice gift for you, Auntie, or something. I forget exactly what Joe said, but you get the gist. But it was a done deal. Everything points to that. So all the professionals in my mom's life were aware. And my mom clearly moved out of her sister. She changed. So I don't see how the sister would ever now, but obviously I was afraid in the beginning, I don't see how she would ever try to go back to court and under these circumstances and gain that control over my mom again. I don't think she would. So what use does my mom have for the lawyer? You know? Whatever the deal was, my mom will never know the truth, and I'll never know the truth. I know damn well I got proof of the truth about the cholesterol medication. I got proof of the truth about my aunt increasing my mom's debit code without getting permission from any doctor, anybody. Of course, somebody smart, a professional in my mom's life, a lawyer, or anybody, including me, would just say, well, you don't take any meds, you don't just listen, you know, but that proves that my mom would do anything her sister said. Only if your doctor personally tells you to do it, Samantha. You don't just listen to your sister. You don't just only let your daughter only let your doctor increase your meds, not anybody else, including your sister. Okay? But that proves the power dynamics. So it's not about the sister getting in trouble. People like her, she's never going to get in trouble for anything. Like Joe says, she has to live with herself. And only she and God, if there is a God, know the truth of what she did. And, you know, in the end, she turned over several $1,000s, but there's no proof that she turned over the correct amount. And the mystery of that account my mom was completely unaware existed. It was just all about deceit. Even when we sat with the Social Security person, when they said to her, your sister became your Social Security pay, or I'm sorry, your sister's your Social Security, and my mom was like, no, she's not. No, she's not. See, we didn't set out to find out any of this. Okay. Again, the only thing that I wanted to make sure of was, and I have a right to, was that the sister had not legally, again, totally legally, while she was temporary guardian conservator, got control of the 401k. That's it. Now that my mom's her own free person, I had a right to have my mom call and find out. And what we found out was the sister had tried more than once, repeatedly, but failed. And the first time she had tried, she had called 6 days after she neglected to write it down on the court paper. So, no. The sister knows who she is. She knows what she does. And I know what my mom told me and Selena and whatnot when my mom told me, and I told Selena back when I was friends with Selena, but when my mom was talking about the cholesterol medication and whatnot, Selena was outraged at that. She's like, she's afraid that she's going to get caught and get in trouble instead of whatever, and, because they do blood work. I don't know why that wasn't picked up on, but whatever. My mom said to me, and I know what she said, she's, in regards to her sister, she does lots of illegal things, so, Doesn't mean there's proof of it. I don't have proof of anything. And I'm sitting here and telling you because the sister was deceitful and my mom was tricked into thinking because it's a joint account, she'd have every right to go and get, go into the bank. And the fact is, let's say I wasn't even involved. Let's say that my mom thinks this is her bank account, right? I'm not involved. And just one day, she's out with her friend and they need extra money for something, and she says, well, here's the bank, there's my bank, I have my license with me, I'll just go in and get some cash out. And then she finds out in front of her friend, and it's so embarrassing or whatnot, she finds out without me there to, talk with her and at least be a buffer for her pain. We can talk about together what we found out. When she would find out she was not able to get 5 cents out of this bank account she was 100% deceived into believing was a joint account she shared with her sister. Because I thought about that. I'm like, because in the beginning, remember, my mom didn't believe me, or she didn't want to. She was in denial. I can't know the truth, Laura. She was in denial. She believed that the CSR had made a mistake. She's like, my name's on the check, it has to be my account. Mom, he told you it's not. And she wasn't going to, and that was it, I had to drop it. But I'm thinking, what if sometime she decides to, it's an emergency situation, she's out with a friend, and she decides to walk in with her license and get some cash and gets told that you can't get any money out. She would be floored. She'd be all devastated or whatnot, And that could have happened at some point, okay? That's how deceit comes to light a lot of the times. The only reason any of this came to light was because this sister was allowed the account that was just in my mom's name, not the joint account, the one that was just in my mom's name, to bounce. It wound up going over $300 to the negative, and she needed a card from the bank to tell her, you need to stop writing checks. And then she tried to, along the lines of 1984, 2 + 2 = 5, she's telling my mom I was paying attention. I'm sorry, but if someone who's paying attention to a bank account doesn't need to get a card in the mail where the bank says stop writing bad checks. Stop writing checks. You're in the negative. It's a lot of money. You know what I mean? So that's bullshit in and of itself. But also, at that time, the sister also told my mom, you only have $9,000 in the other account. And when my mom said that to me, because my mom tells me shit, I said, Mom, that doesn't sound right. And my mom felt the same way. She felt like she should have more. But again, she can't just ask her sister, well, can you show me the bank statement so I can understand where all my money went? No, you're not allowed to. It's all about deceit. It's all about a power trip. It's all about having absolute control over everything, even though you're tricking my mom into thinking she's her own person. You wrote on the paperwork my sister is able to handle her own affairs, financial and otherwise. You know, I mean, she wrote it on the dismissal paper. Under my care, my sister got a plea, whatever. The thing is, Joe would believe that the universe wanted this to happen. But of course, you can watch all my videos and you're going to see the progression. It frustrated me to no end because my mom was in denial. Or if she was, but it bothered her, she might have been in denial, but she's just going to let it go. Okay? She's just going to let it go. And Selena was telling me the same thing. She doesn't care about the money her sister may or may not have taken. She doesn't care about the deceit. She just wants to live there. Laura, you got to just let it go, okay? And again, I had Irby saying all this crap. Saying blah, 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 okay? And I know my mom wanted to live there, and she wanted to whatever, so I was in such a rock and a hard place. And Irby was like, if you don't do something about this, both your mom and you are going to suffer, and all this crap. It was just horrible. It's horrible, you know? But in the end, my mom got fed up with other things her sister was doing. So once she got fed up with other things her sister was doing, including saying, I think you should move out, and I can get my money for this crap, just being a jerk. Then I said, okay, Mom, you're not happy with your sister now. First time we went in and we only had a license, but will you go back with me and accept the truth, okay? This time we're going to give the account number, not just your license, but last time they said you don't have an account here, Samantha. All you have is the one that's in the negative that you're planning on, that she was planning on going that night and closing with her sister, okay? Because the sister's like, we might as well just close this one. You get it? It's all bullshit. And then my mom was agreeable because the sister has pissed her off to no end. My mom's going to put up with the shit to a point. And then she's like, no. So my mom had to face the truth, and she was all upset. She had to face the truth. This is not your account. Okay? It's not your account. And of course, the first time when she was told she had no bank accounts there, and her pension and Social Security were not going into that small account that had bounced, that had gone into the negative, and she was gonna go with her sister and close that night, where she was gonna try to keep it secret what we had done during the day. Okay. She started crying almost, and she's asking the CSR, who can't give her any answers, but if I don't have any bank accounts here, where's my pension, Social Security going? He's like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you anything, Samantha. You have no bank accounts here. She didn't believe him. But then the second time when we found out, we handed the bank account number. Now we have a bank account number. She got the bank account number, plus I was sent a check for that she signed, where the bank told her we shouldn't have been honoring these checks that you're signing. It's not your bank account. That was the way the sister tricked her too. She had her signed check she wasn't supposed to be signing. It's not her bank account. Okay? The bank said it's not your bank account. You're not supposed to be signing these checks. Why is my name on them? They couldn't tell her because they can't tell her it's not her bank account. See? I think they said something like, they might have said I don't know. I don't know why her name. That's why I still think it had to do with keeping the paperwork on file illegally. You know, it's all about deceit. And in the end, we're never going to know the truth. It pisses me off to no end, but I'm glad my mom at least got that. You know, sister at least handed over. It's token. It's token. You know. And as far as I'm concerned, the sister was up to no good, and who knows? By my calculations anyway, figuring out everything, including the fact when my mom spends months at a time, different times in mental hospitals, she's not spending money on food or anything else. So, do I think that was really my mom's remaining money? No, I don't. I don't. But it's over anyway. Like I said, the sister was being sarcastic, but it was the truth. The sister could continue taking her rent from that money, and what could my mom do about it? Nothing. My mom wasn't going to plan on getting a penny back. The only way she was going to have extra money is to get it from the 401k or sell this fucking house. Okay? But that's the whole story. It's not the whole story summed up, but if you watch my videos when I take them off at private, you are going to see the progression and how I was going nuts, because it's like one thing after another we were finding out. And obviously my mom's still living with her sister in the downstairs apartment. I can't release any of the videos publicly, you know. It's like, I'm here to tell you the lawyer did nothing. Nothing. He was there to listen and he did nothing. My mom even pointed out, she's like, I'm the one who got my pension put into a new account. I'm the one who got my social. What did the lawyer do? Well, he was there to talk to. He was there as a security blanket in case your sister tried something, like to go back to court. And when my mom defied her by moving out. And that's basically what the lawyer was there for. I don't know how much he makes, you know, he gets $2.50 an hour. That adds up fast. That adds up real fast. I mean, but I think he should turn over whatever remaining money. I don't see what else he can do for my mom. But I don't know if he will. I don't know. Like I said, screwed every which way but loose. At least the sister turned over what she's going to claim was the leftover money. Again, claim is the key word here. If you're deceitful and you don't give us bank statements, then there's no proof of anything. You can basically say whatever the fuck you want and claim that that's the remaining money. So, whatever. It all disgusts me. Like I said, I didn't want any of this to happen. I wanted my mom to be safe and happy. I didn't want any of this to happen. But it happened because the sister's scum. She's not a good person. She's deceitful. She's whatever, you know. Not my fault. Just because I find out something, or any of us find out something about somebody, you know. It would be that way whether or not we found out. We found this out by chance. It's amazing to me. If we hadn't found out that initial thing, my mom might still be living in the downstairs apartment. If the sister had just not been such a bitch towards my mom was going to let shit go. Okay? That's why I'm no longer friends with Selena. She wasn't being supportive. She wasn't understanding the dilemma I was in when I find out that the sister's up to no good regarding my mom's money and deceit and all that. It's not about stealing the money. The sister is not poor. The sister doesn't need to steal the money. It's not about that. Right now I cannot say that even the lawyer would say, you don't know she mishandled the money. And it doesn't matter anyway because it costs more to subpoena the records. But it's easy for him to say that. He should have done what I said to do and got to the bottom of it regarding all you had to do was say, here's the dismissal papers. Was this, you know, if this account is listed as not my account because of that guardianship consortium paperwork still being on file, then that's wrong and it should be rectified. And this should be my account because it's supposed to be my account. It's where my pension social security going, you know? It's like, bullshit. Such bullshit. The lawyer dropped the ball. And it's not because he's incompetent or stupid, it's because he doesn't give a shit. He can pretend to give a shit, and he can be all consoling and stuff, whatever. But in the end, he did not do what he should have done. So we could know the truth. So I'm never going to know the truth. That pisses me off to no end. But I'm grateful and happy that in light of everything that was going on behind my mom's back, all the professionals in her life now know the truth, you know? Because remember, they don't listen to me at all. They didn't give it, I don't even think they read the shit I sent out months ago. But now, when they hear it from my horse's mouth, when they hear it from my mom, they have to accept that it's true. It's at least vindication of me. You know, it's just, at least they get to see the sister's not so wonderful as she always professed to be. To know what she did. Said, sister knows what she did. She has to live with herself, and well, I don't have any secrets like that. You understand? You guys already know that I legally withdrew that money from that joint bank account when I felt like I was being discarded by garbage. And I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand. I'm her healthcare proxy. She's revoking the release. This hospital is conspiring with my aunt. I just don't get it. I didn't get any of it. But it all revolved around my mom's mental illness, because as soon as she's well, the first thing she wants is her daughter. So, and in my eyes, if you're going to rent your sister's downstairs apartment, then, you know, I can take this money and leave, and you sell this house and you get all that money, you know. I'm not taking food out of your mouth. I'm taking a small amount to start a new life, you know. I'm going to get nothing in the end. I'm taking a small amount to start a new life. And I have the people around me in this park, you know, my friends at the time, were not my friends now, but telling me that's exactly what I should do, you know. In fact, when I gave it back, that guy down the street told me I was a goddamn fucking fool in so many words. He says, you're crazy, you're an idiot. He's the one who drove me to the bank. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Okay? And then I was left penniless and at my aunt's mercy, and you know that whole story. Point being, only the sister, and if there's a God, God know the truth, okay? Whatever she was up to, whatever she was planning, it doesn't give me any kind of satisfaction to know that I'm in shock. I'm in shock that I was in shock all along. But remember, the sister wanted my mom to get a restraining order against me. She wanted my mom to voluntarily stay away from me, and she couldn't deal with it when my mom wanted a relationship with her own daughter. The sister couldn't deal with it, period, and she couldn't hide her just rage and whatever, and that was all she wrote. The turning point was when she called the police on my mom. That opened my mom's eyes, you know. After that, then it was no problem getting my mom to cooperate and finding out the truth about everything. But had the sister not done any of that and just been a decent human being towards my mom, none of this would have happened. My mom would, you know, still be probably renting out the downstairs apartment. What I want to stress, it gives me no sense of satisfaction, none. I mean, it's great that the sister turned over that token amount. Only the sister knows if that's really the amount or not. We're not going to know the truth. We could have. If the lawyer had listened to me, but he's not going to listen to me. See? He did nothing. He did nothing, and let's see if my mom can get back that remaining money. You know what I mean? It all just made me sick to my stomach. Sick to my stomach. You'd think I'd be thinking, oh, well, I got, my mom back and whatnot. I'm pressing the other room, but he woke up, so I never would have any videos without him.